There was one man that I listened to last week on the radio, saw on the television, who said something that really impressed me. He said, rather than waiting for each person over the age of 80 to have 2 inoculations, which would improve their level of immunity, that second dose would improve their level of immunity by an extra 5 to 10%. Wouldn't it make more sense to vaccinate a much greater number of people? Even if the immunity rate was that bit lower, you would have spread it out and extended it to a much larger chunk of the population. And I listened to this argument being made, and I thought, do you know what? This really makes sense. And the power of the argument that was put forward was so strong that actually Jonathan Van Tam in the Mail on Sunday has now gone with the same line. It's now become government policy. Interestingly, this person also said, we've got to think way beyond just the National Health Service, just the establishment, the medical establishment as it currently exists. And we've got to draft people in to get this to work. Now, of course, we're in a national crisis. No one can deny that. This is a very serious national crisis. And that means you've got to think differently. It's not 1941. It's not a war. But it is a time to have a government and to have people leading it who've got genuine talent, even if they disagree on many other policy matters. I've heard tonight calls for people like Jeremy Hunt to perhaps come back into the cabinet. And I understand that because this cabinet is the most inexperienced, the most low grade I've ever seen in my lifetime. I mean, you know, these people don't command any respect at all. I won't mention their names tonight. You've heard me do it on previous videos. I do not agree with so much of what Tony Blair stood for. Not just Iraq, Europe, many other things. But you know something? It was Tony Blair that made those arguments about the vaccine. It was Tony Blair that said, give 1 jab to each person, not 2, and we can then get a bigger part of the population dealt with quickly. It was Tony Blair advocating not hundreds, but thousands of centres where we can get people to get the vaccine. I mean, goodness me, we could even be doing it at motorway service stations. We were doing it everywhere. We should, at a time of national emergency, use the standing army that we've got. We need to rapidly increase the pace of this. Otherwise, my real fear is that effective lockdown won't end in early March, won't end